Have you ever been in a quiet room, maybe a meeting, a church service, or even lying awake at night, when suddenly that tickle creeps up the back of your throat? You try to ignore it, but the urge to clear your throat becomes overwhelming. You cough once, then again. People glance over. You feel embarrassed, but what's worse is that it doesn't go away. No matter how many times you clear it, the mucus comes right back. If this sounds like your daily life, you are not alone. In fact, millions of people silently battle this constant congestion without ever understanding why it's happening. Today, we're going to uncover the real reasons behind this nagging, uncomfortable feeling, and more importantly, we'll explore how to finally break free from it for good, because you deserve more than just temporary relief. You deserve to breathe, speak, and live clearly. Mucus. Just the word itself can make you cringe. But here's something most people don't realize. Mucus isn't your enemy. It's your body's unsung hero. Every single day, your body produces over 1 liter of mucus. That might sound gross, but it's actually part of a finely tuned alarm system. You see, mucus is designed to protect you. It traps dust, allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they ever reach your lungs. It filters the air you breathe, keeps your airways moist, and alerts your body when something's wrong. But like any alarm system, sometimes it gets stuck on high alert. That's when things get uncomfortable, when your throat feels clogged, your voice cracks, and you're constantly clearing it, trying to get relief. Dr. Mason Reed, a respected integrative health expert in Austin, Texas, calls it the smoke detector of your respiratory system. It doesn't cause the fire, but it lets you know something's going on. The problem: most people treat the symptom, not the signal. In this video, we're flipping the script. We're going to decode what your body is trying to tell you, so you can stop the cycle, not just silence it. Let's take a closer look at what's really behind that constant throat congestion. Because number 1, silent reflux, the invisible offender. Ava loved her job as a 4th-grade teacher. Her classroom was full of laughter, questions, and the occasional chaos. But over time, something changed. Her voice grew hoarse. She was constantly clearing her throat, sometimes every few minutes. She chalked it up to talking too much until she began waking up in the middle of the night, throat burning, unable to breathe comfortably. Her diagnosis? Something she'd never even heard of: laryngopharyngeal reflux, or LPR, also known as silent reflux. Unlike typical acid reflux, silent reflux doesn't cause heartburn. Instead, it sends stomach contents, acidic or not, up the esophagus and into the throat, where they irritate the delicate tissues. The body responds by producing excess mucus as a protective barrier. And just like that, you're trapped in a cycle. Mucus builds up, you clear your throat, irritation worsens, and the body creates even more mucus. It's called silent, because many people never feel the reflux, only the aftermath. If you constantly feel a lump in your throat, experience unexplained hoarseness, or find yourself coughing without reason, silent reflux may be quietly disrupting your life. The good news? It's manageable. Identifying trigger foods, elevating your head while sleeping, and making small dietary adjustments can lead to dramatic improvements. Ava did just that, and within weeks she found her voice again. So if your symptoms don't make sense, don't ignore them. Your body might be whispering what you need to hear. Cause number 2, postnasal drip, the allergy culprit. James was 72, a retired carpenter who'd built homes with his bare hands. But now he was constantly fighting something he couldn't see: an itchy throat, endless mucus, and the need to clear it every morning like clockwork. He assumed it was just age, maybe a cold that never quite went away. But after months of frustration, his doctor gave it a name: postnasal drip. This happens when excess mucus from the sinuses trickles down the back of the throat instead of exiting through the nose. It's slow, often unnoticed, but incredibly persistent, and over time it creates that sticky, draining feeling you just can't shake. What causes it? Often it's allergies, seasonal or environmental. Pollen, dust mites, mold. Even your beloved pet can trigger an overproduction of mucus. Your body thinks it's defending you, but in reality it's making you miserable. For James, it wasn't illness. It was the ancient oak trees lining his backyard, shedding pollen every spring like a golden storm. Once he knew the cause, he could fight back. With the help of an over-the-counter antihistamine, a HEPA filter for his bedroom, and limiting outdoor exposure on high pollen days, his symptoms began to fade. If your throat feels thick in the mornings or worsens after being outside, allergies may be to blame, and postnasal drip could be your body's way of waving a white flag, asking for help. Cause number 3, food intolerances. What you eat can mute you. Sierra was a vibrant wellness coach who swore by clean eating. Kale smoothies, almond milk, and quinoa bowls filled her Instagram feed. But off-camera, she battled a quiet frustration. Every time she finished a meal, her throat felt thick, coated, and heavy. Her voice would soften, sometimes even crack. And worst of all, no amount of water or throat clearing brought relief. At first, she ignored it. But when the symptoms became daily and started affecting her work, she dug deeper. After a few tests and an elimination diet, the truth surfaced. It was dairy. Turns out food intolerances can cause more than digestive trouble. They can provoke low-level inflammation, triggering your body to produce extra mucus as a defensive response. And for many people, that inflammation shows up in the throat, right where you feel it most. Common culprits: dairy, gluten, eggs, soy, and processed sugars. Even healthy foods can cause problems if your body sees them as invaders. Sierra cut out dairy for 30 days. The result: her throat cleared, her voice returned, and she finally felt in control again. If you've tried everything and still can't explain the mucus, consider what's on your plate. Your body might be reacting to something you eat every day, silently and steadily. You don't need to guess. Start a food journal, try an elimination plan, work with a specialist if needed, because sometimes the key to your voice is hidden in your fridge. Cause number 4, viral or bacterial infections, when the body is on high alert. Monica, a dedicated school nurse, had seen every germ imaginable walk through her office door. But after a brutal flu season, something odd happened. She couldn't shake. The feeling of mucus stuck in her throat. Weeks passed. The fever was gone. The fatigue faded. But the congestion, it lingered. This is common. After a viral or bacterial infection, your body often stays in defense mode, producing extra mucus to flush out remaining invaders. Even when the worst is over, the aftermath can hang on, leaving you with that dry cough, throat tickle, or sticky feeling that just won't quit. Colds, sinus infections, strep throat, or even COVID-19 can trigger this residual response. And while it's frustrating, it's also a sign your immune system is still on duty, doing cleanup work. For Monica, a little patience, hydration, and steam therapy made all the difference. Within 2 weeks, she was back to normal. Her throat clear and her voice strong. If your symptoms started after being sick, your body may simply need more time and support to heal. Cause number 5, respiratory conditions, the long-term battles. When Carlos retired from the fire department after 30 years of service, he thought his hardest battles were behind him. But one struggle refused to leave: constant throat clearing, chest tightness, and a daily build-up of mucus that made every breath feel like a chore. It wasn't a cold. It wasn't allergies. It was something deeper. Carlos was living with chronic bronchitis, a form of COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And like many others with long-term respiratory conditions, his body had adapted by overproducing mucus, trying to protect airways that had been exposed to smoke, chemicals, and pollution for years. Conditions like asthma, chronic bronchitis, pneumonia, and cystic fibrosis all involve inflammation of the airways. And when inflammation is present, mucus follows. It's the body's way of guarding what's already hurting, but just because it's chronic doesn't mean you're powerless. Carlos began pulmonary rehab, used a prescribed bronchodilator, and learned breathing exercises that helped clear his airways more effectively. Slowly, he started feeling lighter, less congested, more in control. If you've been diagnosed with a respiratory condition, talk to your doctor about your mucus symptoms. Don't just live with it. There are real tools to help you breathe easier and reclaim your daily life. The game plan: techniques to clear mucus for good. Now that we've uncovered the most common causes behind that stubborn throat congestion, it's time for the part you've been waiting for: what you can do about it, starting today. Because No matter the cause, one thing is certain. You don't have to suffer in silence. Let's dive into some of the most effective, doctor-recommended techniques to help you clear mucus, ease irritation, and finally breathe freely again. Stay hydrated, your first line of defense. Water isn't just good for you, it's essential for thinning out thick mucus. When you're dehydrated, secretions become sticky and harder to expel. Aim for 8-10 glasses a day and add warm herbal teas to soothe your throat. Try gargling salt water. It sounds simple, but this old-school remedy works. Mix half a teaspoon of salt in warm water and gargle for 30 seconds. It helps break up mucus and reduce throat inflammation. Use steam to loosen congestion. A hot shower, a bowl of steaming water with a towel over your head, or a quality humidifier can work wonders. Inhaling warm, moist air helps thin mucus, reduce sinus pressure, and soothe dry tissues. Avoid triggers and irritants. Smoke, chemical, cleaners, strong perfumes, and even scented candles can worsen mucus production. If you're sensitive, steer clear. And yes, if you smoke, quitting is one of the most powerful changes you can make. Keep allergies in check. If postnasal drip is an issue, antihistamines or nasal sprays may offer relief. Use air purifiers at home and shower after being outdoors to remove pollen and allergens. Rethink your diet. Limit dairy if it seems to thicken your mucus. Try adding anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, ginger, garlic, berries, and leafy greens. And yes, spicy foods like chili peppers and horseradish can temporarily open nasal passages and reduce congestion. Consider expectorants cautiously. Over-the-counter expectorants like guaifenesin can loosen mucus and make coughing it out easier. But always consult your doctor before starting new medications, especially if you have underlying health conditions. Practice breathing exercises. Deep breathing, pursed lip breathing, and diaphragm training can strengthen lungs and help clear the airways. Talk to a respiratory therapist if needed. These aren't just tips, they're tools. Start with 1 or 2 today. Your throat doesn't have to feel like it's fighting a battle every day. Take control of your health, step by step. You've lived with the discomfort. You've cleared your throat 1,000 times. You've whispered through hoarseness, swallowed past the lump, and wondered if this feeling would ever go away. But now, you know the truth. Mucus isn't the problem, it's the message. And when you understand what your body is trying to tell you, everything changes. Whether it's reflux, allergies, infection, or something deeper, you are not stuck. This isn't just how it is now. You have options, you have tools, and you have the power to reclaim your voice, your breath, and your peace. Start by choosing one thing today. Maybe it's swapping out dairy, taking a walk in fresh air, or booking an appointment you've been putting off. Tiny steps create powerful change. Your body isn't broken, it's brilliant. And now you're listening, you're not alone, and you're not powerless. From frustration to freedom. If you've made it this far, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That nagging mucus, the constant throat clearing, the frustration. It doesn't define you, not anymore. You're not crazy, you're not weak. And you're certainly not alone. If this video helped you understand your body better, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe for more simple, powerful health insights. Share your story in the comments. I read every single one. And remember, you were never meant to live in discomfort. Healing starts when understanding begins. Take a deep breath, friend. You deserve to breathe easy.